Hi, how are you? This is JilliBling. I have project number 3 using frame florets. What do you think? Kind of stunning, kind of pretty. Are you wondering about this? That's in the upcoming new catalog. And this is embossing paste. Embossing paste is in the annual catalog on page 128, and it comes in matte white and shimmery white. And you can also get these palette knives, and I'll be using a silicone mat and some templates or decorative masks, and each year they come out with something different, and I love the new ones, but I have the past 2 years ones, but any one that you have is good, or whatever you like is good to use. So frame florets, beautiful stamp set, and then also Ranunculus Romance, using that mostly for the words. The words on the outside for a special person on a special day is great. Does that mean wedding or anniversary or birthday? It can mean any of them or all of them. Great set, great words. Okay, so I'll be using the die set frame florets, and that is for cutting out these flowers and then also this frame. And then, did you notice, it's kind of hard to see on black, there's Evening Evergreen, and that's just a little branch, just a little detail. So this is the mask I used, but I have a whole bunch of other ones. I'm thinking today maybe using something different. Like I said, you could get the new ones, which are great, or just use what you have, because it's just a little detail in the back. I'm kind of thinking about this one, because I'll just use just a little bit of it, but it kind of has a big pattern, so I'm not sure. I love that one. That's an old one. The brick, I don't think it would work for this setting. Oh, the cake won't. Medallion won't work here. I've used that one before. Clouds, no. Tree, no. Or this one, maybe. How about this one? Dots. Dots are always fun. Yeah, I think this one. Okay, so I'm going to put all these up. Be using the silicone mat. And you know, let's get started on doing the mask first, the masking, because it takes just a little bit for it to dry. I'm feeling like granules or something on there. So that is on this piece of black paper, which is just a little bit smaller than the paper base. Okay, so when you're doing embossing paste, it's good to have nearby some baby wipes, because the paste dries really fast and you need to get it off of your mask and off of your palette knife. So I'm getting this ready. And also you want to close the lid tightly and quickly. I think I just separated. Okay, I'm ready for when it's time. So this is the matte white. And they also have shimmery white. Let's do the matte white. Okay, and I could leave this here, but I'm going to attach it with a little bit of washi tape. I don't think you have to do that, but I don't want it shifting. So when you're applying the embossing paste, I kind of went crazy on the sample, and then later I regretted going a little bit crazy on the sample. Because this pattern is real random, I'm not going to worry about the black paper being crooked underneath the mask. So when I did it on here, see this little bit? I don't like that. I don't like all these little bits. I wish I was a little bit tidier about it. And I went back with my black blend and tried to put black over the top of them, like there was one right here, just to calm them down a little bit, because to me it was almost looking messy. I don't like messy. Okay, so which palette do you like? It doesn't matter. I could see that there's stuff on here. It dries really fast, which is good, but then that's bad. Okay, so embossing paste. Make sure to close it tightly and quickly. So that's probably more than what I need for this project, but you don't know how many of these I opened up, and it's really lightweight and it's hard as a rock. So do what you can. Like, I'm even keeping it in the bag just to make sure it stays. I don't want it to dry out. Okay, so to apply this, oh, I probably should have stamped the words first. Because that's on there, I know it's drying fast. I'm going to go out of order. And I'm just pushing it into all those little crevices. You could see how I'm getting all messy over there. And all these little bits down here that might tend to look messy. Go both directions to kind of push it into the template. And you can put a lot on your brush, but then you have a lot that you need to clean off, because you really don't use that much. I'm thinking, because these have bigger holes, I probably should have used maybe a little bit more. I'm not leaving room for me to do my words. In embossing paste, you could take this little bit and take a re-inker, and on your silicone mat you can make it whatever color you want. If you have gold glitter or silver glitter, you could glitter your embossing paste. It's a lot of fun. And if I had stamped on this black paper, the ink, once the moisture from the paste touches the ink color comes up through the paste. It's a lot of fun. At first that was a whoops, but then the next project I planned it and love it. Okay, so I'm going to start out by cleaning my palette knife. And then take off that. And I see areas where it's like, it's messy, but we're going to make it work. Then I'll use a silicone mat to clean this. And if you want, go over to the sink and take a scrubby brush. That would clean it really good right away. And you know, all of my masks, I haven't cleaned them as good as I should, because there's a little bit of residue in each one of these. And that just means that the next time I use the mask, I won't get such a fine detail that the mask should provide. But if you want, you could go back with your snips or your little pokey tool and get it all cleared out. I started to do that on the little diamond shaped one. It's like, oh my gosh, I could spend a long time doing this. I'm going to do one more pass. Just trying to keep my masks in good shape. You'd be like, are you even doing anything? But when you look on here, I see the white milkiness. So I know that stuff is coming off. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So just let this sit here and dry. And it doesn't take long. If I were to touch it right now, it'd probably be almost dry. So here is the paper base. So the first time I saw this card, oh, this card is my new favorite artist, mitosucraft.com. Barry and Jay. I love their work. At first when I saw it, it's like, that is stunning. That is just beautiful. And had to do it. But then later when I was looking at it, it's like, it's kind of dark. But somehow I still like it. So, the first two, this is a Gotta Have It box, so I'm going to do 5 different designs using this bundle. And this is number 3. This is the first one. Isn't that fun? And, oh, this one is yesterday's. This one is kind of sparkly and pretty. It's an easel card. See how that sets right up like that? It's very pretty. So, this one is vastly different than these 3. And the other 2 are going to be more white vanilla based. Kind of balance it out. Okay. So that's going to cut that. These are inside papers. That. And I know I had it to stamp the flower. Isn't that funny? How's that happen? I'll have to watch the video to figure it out. That is just the strangest thing. Okay, I had paper to stamp this on. Well, you know there's a way to cheat, because I have one half done over here. But I have to find it. Okay. I will find it. Okay. We are just going to go and pretend like all is well. Because I don't know where the die is for this. Okay. So, this one, stamp it on here. I'm still not good yet. Tony's going to urgent care, probably right about now. Neither of us slept well the past 3 nights. It's been rough. Ooh, that's pretty. And you know, I still can't, I still don't know where that is. Okay, so carry on. This is for the frame. I'll cut that out. Isn't that pretty? This, pretend like I have the die. Perfectly fits around here. Cut that out. We're going to color it. I have it half colored. This one doesn't cut out anything in the stamp set, but it just cuts out the shape, which is what's right here. I'm still at a loss. Where could that thing be? Okay, so when you go to color in, at first it's like, that is beautiful. When you go to color it in, you would think, oh, it's just one thing to color. I can handle that. But this is kind of a coloring project. And I left just a little bit, as you can see, for us to do together. So I have Flirty Flamingo and Melon Mumbo. And on this one I used Polished Pink and Melon Mumbo. So I want the flowers dark in the center. So usually when you're coloring, it's like stay in the lines. But this one, see how it has the black outline that we're going to color? It's a manual thing. If you go outside the lines, for once, it's okay, because we'll put black around it. And I'm starting with a lighter color. Usually I start with a darker color because I'm not going to take the time to blend. I'm just going to put the lighter color in here. And then go back with the darker and make it dramatic with dramatic streaks. Like if you're having your hair done and you have highlights and lowlights, we're going to make it dramatic. So I had it half done because I don't want you to have to sit through too much coloring, just a little bit. Okay. Melon. Now let's make it dramatic. Whew. Okay, and then one more little flower in Flirty Flamingo, just a softer pink. My polished pink ran out. You know, I was thinking we have until early May and that color is going to be gone, so I might not replace the marker. And then I'm using two different color greens. I'm using soft seafoam for all these other little leaves. And then soft succulent for the big leaves by the flowers. These leaves here. You can hardly tell the difference in the colors. The light and the dark. Okay. So you're like, that didn't take too long. But coloring the black behind it, that takes a little bit. Make sure you have a good marker. A new one with that fine tip makes all the difference. Then how about the flower centers? I don't know. This is what Jay and Barry did. Just a little hint of green. Okay, so now to color it in, I have 2 tips on this. Before I open this up, this is the longer tip, the brush tip, and it has the very fine tip. Halfway down that tip, I'm going to take this and go all along the edges. And I'm trying to preserve the end tip for coloring. You're like, well, why are you doing that? Because if you didn't, like over here I did, you could see how the ink kind of bleeds onto the area that eventually I'll color. If you didn't do the side, when you set this down on the black card front, you could see the white edge, and it doesn't look good. You'd probably see maybe half of it, because you're coloring all of this in here. It would fill in some of it, but not all of it. So, just start at the beginning, do the edge, it's worth it. Okay, so now to color in all this. That's what takes the time. And you kind of like see the stem to that little leaf? I'm coloring right over it. It becomes obsolete. But the card looks beautiful, so it's okay. And now you could see why you really don't have to color in the lines, because if I color outside the lines with the seafoam green color, I just cover it up with the black. Okay, gonna get busy. Get this done. And if you color over like the little seafoam leaf, and if it's really obvious, you could take seafoam and color over that leaf a few times, and it will make the black push through to the back. Because that's what's amazing about blends. So if you were thinking, oh, this project is easy, there's just one flower to color. Well, this is good for someone who likes coloring. Yeah, we've been sick. It's like now with a cold. We're miserable. We're up coughing all night. I even went to the other room because I didn't want to keep Tony awake. So we're at different ends of the house, and all night long I'm coughing, and then it's like he almost answers it because maybe I wake him up and then he's coughing. This is rough. If this is what the standard cold is, it's been forever since I've had one. This is terrible. If I was 5 years older, I'd be in the hospital. Okay. It's done. It's pretty. Okay, so you're like, where's the masking and the paste? It is on here. Oh, you know how I said I should have done the words first? I bet you the embossing powder is going to stick to all this. Oh, okay. Well, sometimes maybe it'll turn out really cool. Whisper White. All of my Versamark pads are being busy. So, oh yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of drama going on here. how is this going to work? How am I going to get powder over just that? I should have done it first. Okay, powder's where I want it to be. Maybe if I dump it and it trails right down here. Whew. Well, now I'm curious. It's not sticking to it, so okay. Okay. See how it's all messy? Don't like messy. So I'm going to take my black blend and make a little bit of messy go away. Some of them I might cover up with the bling. Coffee's done. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this gets put on right in the center, and I'll use liquid glue. And even if you didn't stamp your words right in the center, put the oval right in the center, because the rest of the prettiness, the flowers and the sprig, can kind of balance it out a bit. Because you could see that there's extra space down here. But I'll just pretend like I planned it, because this can go right there. Isn't that pretty? Sprig. Oh, and we'll use the baker's twine, the granite gray, just for a little bow, because that's what the artist did, and I'm copying theirs. I don't know why I have regular dimensionals. It's an extra step. How about right like that? Okay, a little bow. So when you're tying a bow, have you ever tied it and everything gets all twisty? If you tie it, like see how that's crossing over? And see how the knot is all loose? Because the knot is loose, I can manipulate the direction of the string. Once it's tight, you're kind of working against, like see that right there? That's because there's twist in the fiber. Okay, so to me, that bow looks probably as good as it's going to look. Now I'll tighten it up. And some of you are like, that happens to me all the time. Now I want the strings to be a little bit long. Then, that's going to go right about here. I would use a glue dot, but you know how I always followed up with liquid glue. That will go right there. The glue will dry clear. Stay. Okay, so this is looking good. So the bling, oh, and these are in the Dragonfly trinkets. These are in the upcoming catalog. Can you see that? Is that just cute as can be? And because this is all silver, it's like, oh, I have to use one of those. Dragonfly trinkets. Cute, cute, cute. Oh, and then I want to use Pearlized Enamel Effects Black. And that is for these little, they're kind of charcoal looking, these trio of dots. Because you know you have to add more. Oh, and then the bling. I'm not sure where to put that one yet. So these are called Glossy Dot Assortment. So I will use 5 of them. Aren't those bright? 1, 2. I could use this to cover up some of my, I covered up a lot of them. My embossing paste overages, 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. 5. Okay, now where should this go? Okay, that's drying well. This one, I was covering up stuff. I'm not sure that that's the best place for it, because I want it to be seen. Right here. Right here. And I'm just going to put it on with liquid glue. So Dragonfly is like a big T. Okay, so this needs time to dry, the bow and the Dragonfly. Might as well do this. So this, I'm going to put on like a trio. Here's my cheat sheet, my recipe. For each project I make, I do a recipe where all the products I use, the designer, and on the back, the paper sizes. So if ever you need anything, I have a cheat sheet. So I'm just going to do 3 dots. 1. Ooh, that's a tiny one. 2. And 3. Try to get them equal. And I'm showing you on this because when I put it on the black, it's going to kind of disappear a little bit. But this is another opportunity to cover up paste areas if you don't like them. Otherwise, just to provide a little interest or texture. Because you know this card needs more stuff. And if you do a whoops and you try to swoosh it off the paper, it doesn't work out too good. Okay, so it's going to just dry. Okay, so for the inside, in black, I will do, for a special person, thank you for sharing your heart. I was thinking this is a good anniversary card. Aren't you impressed with the coloring? Is it making you think, oh my gosh, that's a lot of coloring? Well, it is. It is. So this one I want it to be just for you, because then it could be a birthday or a wedding, anything. Then let's use that big one again. Pretty. Okay, and then it's colored with the same colors, the same way. You're like, that's going to take some time, but watch this. Ta-da! So I colored it all the same as I did at the front here, but this time I went around the outside edges in Smoky Slate Light, and I filled in all of the areas with Smoky Slate Light. And then I just left a little bit around these outside edges. And then I'm going to take the color lifter to kind of blend it out, to soften the edges. Because I couldn't do it in black. That would look like a mistake. Okay, so I went around all of it and in the center with Smoky Slate Light. So now color lifter, let me show you what I'm going for so you can see the difference. And that looks good like that, but see how it's really softened when I do the color lifter? So to do the color lifter, I have a tip. Start outside of the Smoky Slate Light and just do a little section, then go back again and go right over the marker, the whole area. And I'll show you why. Because coloring with the blends, they say one color will replace another color. So if you went right into the outside edge to lift it, look what it does. It makes a puddle of dark around where the color lifter hit. But if you go from the outside edge, so it's wet outside of the line, and then you go in toward the line, the puddle goes in toward the center. But see how that's much more tolerable than that blob? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Go outside the line, and then once again, right on top of the line. Outside, and just small little areas, because I don't want it to dry. And then after I'm done here, I'll go back, and any places that are the smoky slate light is heavy, where it should not be heavy, I'll use the color lifter to kind of clean it up a little bit. Getting a little sloppy over here. Almost done. See what a difference it makes? Done to that being not done. Okay, so now looking at it, right here looks a little bit heavy. But I just want it to be really soft. Okay, and now it's time to assemble the card. See, how is this doing? Looking good. Polished pink. It's a very happy color. A little bit simple on the inside and a little bit crazy on the outside. So that I'm going to put on with dimensionals. And because there's embossing paste on it, and the moisture from the embossing paste makes the paper sometimes a little wavy, I'm going to go crazy on dimensionals. And that will hold it up. No warping paper. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Kind of stunning. Okay, so there it is. Just for you. Well, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.